This September, the Center at the Heights will be welcoming Needham residents 60 and older to take part in their Better Balance campaign. The hope of this effort is to help residents prevent falling before it happens by taking a test that lasts just a few minutes. The new machine at the center of this effort has a few features that were so intriguing that our own Kristen Connors, a former college athlete, offered to be an early test subject.
Stephen, the Center at the Heights is starting this Better Balance campaign. Can you tell us a little more about that?
All right, so we just recently got this HUR balance machine, which is absolutely spectacular at measuring someone's balance. It takes about 5 minutes. We can give them a printout, and it'll tell them if they're likely to fall, which direction, and how likely they are to fall in that direction.
So I am standing on this beautiful, brand new piece of equipment. Can you give us a little background information on it and why it's so important?
So Dr. Romberg created a test back in the early 1800s where you would stand with your feet together, straight as you could, and it would be 30 seconds. Then you would do it with your eyes closed. Then he would do it on some sort of a uneven surface like a pillow. And he somehow calibrated a number by which what your balance was like, whether it was poor to the front, poor to the back, whether you are bad with your eyes closed and whatnot. So over the years, they took that data and created this machine that took statistics from the entire world so that when you're tested on this, your outcome is going to be based on how you compare to people your age and pretty much in your demographic, how well your balance is or how good your balance is, or unfortunately in a lot of cases how poor your balance is. And that's the good thing, is that this, and you'll see it later, this will show how you can improve what the deficits are, which exercises you can do, and this actually has games which you can see later we can play that will improve your balance as well.
So with all of that information, why do you think it's just so important for these people to know their balance?
Falls in the older adults are devastating. There are about 36 million falls a year. There are 32,000 deaths, and that does not even cover the falls that aren't reported and also how falls affect people's independence. They fall, they're afraid to get up, they're afraid to move, they're afraid to maybe come into the calf. So it's very important that we can try to prevent a fall before it happens.
So what are some ways people can improve their balance?
So there are a number of things that affect someone's balance. Their eyesight, their cognitive ability, their brain, and the muscles that control their body, and the proprioception, the senses that help their balance. The proprioception is where their body parts are in space and knowing where their body parts are in space. So first we fix the simple things. Make sure they have the proper prescription for glasses, and make sure that their home is clear of clutter and things that could cause them to fall, scatter rugs and so forth. But the main thing that's important is to strengthen their core. Their core is from about here to here on their body, and those muscles are vital to keep our balance. And everything can be perfect, but if the brain sends the signal to the muscles that are supposed to keep the balance and the muscles can't do it because they're too weak, then the person's going to fall. This will give some exercises that we can do, or that they can do, but here we do all of the core exercises that involve balance.
All right, so I think we're ready to test out the machine.
All right.
So let's get to it.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to face away from the screen.
Yep.
You're going to line your heels up to that line, and your feet are going to be a little bit out on those lines. Great. Now you're going to stand with your eyes open, arms down by your side, and just stand as still as possible. That little line, if she were swaying greatly, would show how she swang. And the fact that it's still a kind of a dot is a good thing. That means you're not swaying very much.
Trying very hard.
That's good. Now you're going to do the exact same thing, except you're going to do that with your eyes closed.
Eyes closed.
All right?
All right. Oh, wow, this is already so much harder.
Most people depend on their eyesight. All right, now if you could just step off for a second.
Sure.
We are going to do the exact same test, except we are now putting this pad down. It's just unstable enough to make this a little bit more challenging.
All right.
So you see the lines are still there
I do.
a little bit. Put your heels there. You're gonna stand same way, eyes open. Now the beauty is, for people who are very unstable, I'm here if something would happen to her, and the bars are here. So you could, the person could grab on
Right.
for stability.
I do feel the difference. The cushion.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
And the last one, same thing with your eyes shut. Different, huh?
It is very different. I have to focus very
Right?
hard.
Yep. And that is your results. When you're in the blue and the green, you have very good balance. If you touch in a particular area, it will talk to you about what you were reading and the numbers and what they mean, as well as where you should focus your strength and where you should focus your balance. I have one more test for you.
Okay.
Limits of stability. I'm going to ask you to lean forward as far as you can lean forward without having to take a step. Now keep leaning forward as far as you can. All right, now we're going to lean in backward.
Oh, this one's harder.
Yeah. Now to the left and to the right. You ready?
Yes.
All right, that's a baseline score for you as well.
Alrighty.
What this is showing you is the weakest direction. If you were to fall, you would have a tendency forward and a little bit to the right. Now you know what you should worry about, and we can tell you what to do as to prevent from possibly falling forward. Even if you didn't want to get tested, this has games. Now
Oh.
what you're going to do is you're going to try, as you lean, he'll move. When
Oh,
you lean
okay.
forward, he goes faster. You're going to try to eat these fish. Now you got a fish. Your goal is to eat as many fish as you can. I mean, you don't know what you're doing for your balance and for your core right now. You don't even realize it. But your whole core is getting a workout.
Sweet. I also feel like it working in my calves.
Exactly.
You're leaning
It's
forward.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. You don't realize it until you're on it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun, but it's all about your balance. It's all about controlling what would happen if you were into a fall. You're gonna go right through. Did it. Finally, in another whole set, there are mazes, there's a chase, there's a tennis game. So anyway, it's a fun machine, but it's a very important machine because, as I said, falls are absolutely devastating
Right.
to the older adult.
How can people reserve time to use this machine or work with you?
What we're going to do starting in September is they are going to just come in and we are going to try to test them as they come in. What we're going to also try to do is sign them up to join the fitness center so that we can start to work on their deficits in here with them. If that gets to be, if we're overwhelmed, which I'm hoping we are, we might have to create a system by which somebody reserves a time that they come in. But right now, we just want to leave it open, let people come in, see what's happening, introduce it, and if, as I said, if it gets that far, which I hope it does, then we'll have to make appointments for it.
Thank you, Stephen, for this. It was very informational, and I had a great time, actually.
Thank you.